was making a documentary on a tiger in the wild. But in 2015, the tiger I was following killed a man who entered his territory, and my documentary became about something bigger.
He was the pride of Ranthambore, but now is the biggest villain of the national park. We are talking about Ustad or T24, who was abruptly relocated a few days ago, allegedly because he had turned into a man-killer. Accused of killing 4 humans in the last 5 years, Ustad is now forced to live in a small enclosure miles away from home.
Him being taken out of his territory by wrongful and inconclusive evidence is not correct.
All the 4 incidents happened in the core area of the forest, and not a single incident had happened in the human settlement. So how can we call this tiger a man-eater?
In Ranthambore, T24 was a man-eater, and he will always be a problem because he now has a memory implant that this is food.
Experts have been interviewed, articles have been written, billboards have been erected, protests have been held. The highest courts of India have been moved to consider the case of this tiger. This is the story of a tiger and the question of his place in the world. This is the story of a tiger who united a nation against its own government. This is the story of tiger number 24.
There's romance, there's separation, there's action in the movie, and Warren has done a fantastic job. And this is because of him that, we get to see Ustad for the last time in the big screen. Warren, thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for coming. We're going to open up for a few questions if there are any, but I just want to thank my parents who are in the back. It takes a lot of understanding when your son says, hey, I'm going to go for 10 years and follow a wild animal instead of growing up. So thank you. But I want to open up for questions. So yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Any danger?
Not really, because when you're in a Jeep, it's relatively safe filming tigers. So when you walk, it's a little different.
कहीं ना कहीं आपको कोई चीज इंस्पायर की होगी, so I want to know the inspiration behind the Tiger 24.
Well, that shot when he's in the water, when he's looking right at me, that's the first time I saw him. So I didn't have a great reason. I just liked him. I thought it was a good shot. I liked him. I felt a connection. I said, who's this guy? Let me follow him. And everyone was like, oh, he's a male. We think he killed some people. You shouldn't follow him. And I was like, it's my time. I'm just going to do it. And then I didn't expect 3 years later to have all this controversy around him. So it wasn't like I planned this thing to be this amazing, complicated story. It just happened. And then I ended up being the only guy in the world with the 4K professional footage of this animal. And and that's why I did it. I think documentaries are like fishing. You don't know what fish you're going to get. And you might get a small one, you might get nothing, you might get a huge fish. So in my case, it was a big fish with a lot of complications.
So I was wondering this query throughout the movie that what if T24 had to return back to the jungle? What would happen to T57 then?
A great question.
What do you think about the cheetahs that have been brought to India?
Okay, I'm not a wildlife expert, and I get these questions. I'm a filmmaker, but I think to the extent that it takes away critical tiger habitat, it's a problem. To the extent in which it increases protected areas in the country, it's a good thing.